Happy Friday, television family. That is a drop-dead gorgeous view from our Wenatchee Heights camera, looking right at the sunrise, which is just about now. And of course, today is the first day of spring. The vernal equinox, for the first time in my memory anyway, it may never have happened, is actually happening during this show. If you're watching the live version, it's 7:46 this morning. Just about 45 minutes from now, the vernal equinox will be upon us, and from this point forward, it is spring, although we've been over the 12-hour mark of daylight for the last few days. I'm Dan Kuntz. It is mild again, 48 degrees, 71. 71 was our high yesterday, one off the record. Freitas set a new record at 75. Moses Lake tied a record at 75. It was just downright balmy. One more mild day today, not a lot of sunshine, but another mild day today, maybe a little bit of light rain tomorrow morning, and we're going to cool off quite a bit. Forecast details are coming up. Weather is going to be kind of all over the place for the next 7 days. We'll let you know what Mother Nature has in store. We have a lot of news to get to. We have a lot of sports. Kennesaw State, they're kind of a pesky team. Things got a little cattywampus towards the end, but Gonzaga pulled it out. They moved on to the round of 32. We'll talk about that. The ladies, the Lady Gonzaga Bulldogs and the Lady Huskies, they start their quest for a national championship today. Mariner highlights, Kraken played in Nashville. We'll let it go at that. And we'll have the results from high school sports from yesterday and a whole bunch of stuff going on this weekend as well. Speaking of that, our first spring sports broadcast is tomorrow. We'll be at Wildcat Stadium in beautiful East Wenatchee, Washington, USA, to cover the East Mile Wildcats. Good soccer team. They always seem to be good. The men soccer team will take on Chiawana, the Riverhawks, at Wildcat Stadium tomorrow afternoon at 1. We will be there. Looking forward to that. And speaking of soccer, he's a soccer legend around here. His name is synonymous with high school soccer. Dennis Tronson, who just stepped away as the head soccer coach of the Cashmere Girls after 29 seasons. Last year, he stepped aside as the head soccer coach for Wenatchee High School after 25 seasons. The guy knows how to win, and he knows how to coach, and people seem to like Dennis. You're going to like Dennis, too. My visit with Dennis Tronson in the back half of the program. Let's go. We got some cameras to look at, and again, we can just look at that all day long. Sunrise is right now. 7:03. Sunset tonight, 7:14, 12 hours and 10 minutes of daylight, 3 minutes and 26 seconds longer than yesterday. We hit 71 yesterday as we take a look at the Union Valley camera up in Chelan. Good morning to Chelan. 71, one off the record. So our high temperature was 17 degrees above normal. Our low temperature was 50. That's 15 degrees above normal. And anybody who had any kind of residual snow, it is gone Johnson. Could get a little snow in the mountains, by the way, early next week, but probably not down here in the valley. Tumwater Canyon camera chimes in. Good morning, Leavenworth. They've set up a little deal so the folks who work in the downtown Leavenworth area can finally find a parking spot. We'll have that in news. Parking is always an issue in Leavenworth, but it's just how it is. It's part and parcel. And let's see what this looks like. Yep. When Malcolm first threw that camera up about 10 minutes ago, I thought that was in black and white. That's an actual color shot of Nanapoc Ridge. That is a dramatic shot there. As you can see, there's still snow in the Lake Wenatchee area. You can see the snow down at the Kaler Glen Golf and Ski Resort, and a little bit snow on the north face of Dirty Face Mountain. They're going to get more snow melt again today, but they're still hanging on to the white stuff up there. Changes are coming. They're pretty confident, the National Weather Service is. Things are going to be a little cool and a little breezy by the middle of next week. That huge ridge of high pressure is still set up down in Southern California, but we're at the very, very northern edge of it, and that's going to allow a cold front to come through and pay us a visit. So things are going to be changing, both temperature-wise and precipitation-wise, as we get into the middle part of next week. From our friends at Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort, care, and community come together. Could get a little bit of rain today if we have any rain at all, and there's about a 60% chance of it. It'll be this morning, and then we'll see clouds all day today. Also a little breezy, and 63 they tell us for the afternoon high. Excuse me. Cloudy tonight, 41 for the overnight low. Tomorrow morning, clouds. Tomorrow afternoon, sun, and a lot cooler. The high only 52, a little breezy too on Saturday. Saturday night clear, we're going to get all the way down to 32. We haven't seen that for an overnight low in a long time. A little breezy Saturday night. Beautiful day Sunday. Quite a bit of sunshine, high near 54. Late in the afternoon, early evening Sunday, clouds roll in. Not a lot of clouds, but you'll notice them. It'll be 50% clouds, 50% sun on Monday. The high 56. We'll jump ahead to Tuesday of next week, where we're probably going to get some rain and probably some snow in the higher elevations of the Cascades. May actually miss the actual pass level as we're getting deeper and deeper into March. The days are getting longer and certainly warmer, but the one thing you'll notice is the temperatures will be back where they should be by the time we get to Saturday and Sunday, which be, by the way, tomorrow, if I'm any judge of calendars. Going to take a break and come back and do the news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
The Moses Lake National RV Show is happening now through Sunday, March 22nd at the Grant County Fairgrounds. Shop hundreds of RVs. Receive huge discounts. Exclusive show-only pricing. Prices this low will only be available at the National RV Show at the Grant County Fairgrounds. Manufacturer reps are on site stacking additional savings. No payments for 120 days on approved credit. Free admission. Free parking. Plus, shop like a VIP and receive an additional $1,000 off. Learn more at nationalrvshowmoseslake.com.
At Colonial Vista Senior Living, we believe life is meant to be lived fully. Our wellness programs inspire residents to stay strong, flexible, and confident every day. Here, curiosity is encouraged, friendships are nurtured, and every activity is an opportunity to connect, create, and enjoy life together. We invite you to experience the lifestyle at Colonial Vista Senior Living for yourself and discover why so many call our community home.
Pretty cloudy, but a nice morning. 48 degrees. Will be mid-60s perhaps with a little bit of rain, some sprinkles here and there. Tomorrow, rain in the morning, sunshine in the afternoon, sunshine all day. Sunday, temperatures are going to drop back down to where they should be after this unseasonably near record-setting warm temperatures that we've had for most of this week. Almost 9 minutes after the hour, Grant County Health District officials announced Wednesday that it was notified of 2 confirmed cases of measles in children this week. The health district said the children who are from the same household were unvaccinated and likely exposed through recent out-of-country travel. The health district released several locations that the infected individuals visited while contagious prior to their diagnosis. The information includes the date and time period that the children were at the location, plus 2 hours after, on 4 days. There you can see it right there. This was between March 7th and March 12th. The health district says that anybody who was at those locations could have been exposed to measles, according to the Washington State Department of Health. As of June of last year, Grant County had a little over a 75% rate of immunization against measles, mumps, and rubella. The city of Leavenworth is setting aside parking permits for employees who work in the tourist-friendly downtown. Parking has been at a premium in the Bavarian Village for as long as anybody can remember, and all public parking in the Front Street business area can run you up to $4.50 an hour, up to $30 a day, even for people who actually work at the downtown shops. and restaurants. For its initial launch, the city's new employee parking program offers a total of 50 parking permits in 5 public lots, and they'll charge you about $50 a month. The program was announced on Wednesday. City Public Information Officer Kara Raftery says as of yesterday, 8 of the employee permits have been claimed to downtown workers. You can apply online for the 50 available slots. Use the QR code that you see on your screen right now. The permits, by the way, are non-transferable. The Antioch School District has found new leadership in Bill Eagle. That's a name you might remember. He's a longtime educator and a former teacher and principal. He currently works as the Executive Director of Student Success and Learning with the NCESD, the North Central Educational Services District. In 2022, he filled in as superintendent for the Wenatchee School District on an interim basis ahead of the current superintendent, Corey Callahar's hiring. Eagle will step in for departing Superintendent Greg Whitmore, who is leaving after 3 years with the district. His interim appointment is pending board approval. It will be decided at the March 25th Antioch School Board meeting. Property owners in Kashmir, you may be eligible to participate in a defensible space project. It's aimed at reducing wildfire risk around homes. According to the State Department of Natural Resources, defensible space is the fire-resistant buffer between a structure and the surrounding area, typically within a 200-foot radius. The project is a partnership between Chelan County Natural Resources, the Cascadia Conservation District, and Chelan County Fire District Number 6. It includes fuel reduction work within 100 feet of structures and the placement of non-combustible materials like rocks within 5 feet of buildings. Eligible property owners can receive up to $1,250 in defensible space improvements through the cost share program. You can contact Cascadia for information on how to apply. Wenatchee High School's mock trial team heading to Tacoma this weekend. It's the state championships. 28 teams from 23 high schools will convene Friday through Sunday at the Pierce County Courthouse for the Washington Mock Trial Championships. They'll argue a true-to-life vehicular assault trial involving a car, 2 cell phones, a yellow traffic light, and a significant injury. Thurston County Superior Court Judge Chris Lanise will preside, and the mock trials will be streamed on the State Public Access Channel, TVW. The winner of the state championship will be eligible to compete in the national championship that'll be in Des Moines, Iowa. In early May, the Wenatchee High School mock trial team placed second in the district competition earlier this year. Advisor Ruben Hart says his students are pretty pumped for the statewide championship. And speaking of the Wenatchee School District, they're holding 2 public open houses for community members to see the inside of Wenatchee High School. The district is hoping to place a $295 million bond on ballots this November. They want to build a new high school and replace the failing HVAC systems at 7 other schools. During the events, students and community volunteers will lead guided tours around the building, and representatives from the design firm Integris Architecture will be at both events to answer questions and discuss the design process. The free tours are scheduled for April 15th and April 26th, and they're open to anybody who wants to show up and check it out. And you have now checked out the news. On this Friday, we have one more newscast to bring our way before the weekend begins. But we oftentimes work weekends because there's a couple of us, by a couple of us I mean me, who aren't very bright and have a tendency to work weekends. For the rest of them, they're smart. They get the weekend off. The news at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight on YouTube about 5 o'clock. We stream on our homepage, ncwlife.com, all the time. We're on Roku. We're on Amazon Fire. We're everywhere. We're omnipresent. Send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. I need a weekend. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
A kitchen that makes mouths water and jaws drop. A bedroom from a dream with a bath from a spa. A walk-in you'd never want to walk out of. A pool like the fountain of youth. And a view that never gets old. When buying or selling a home of the highest standards, it's comforting to be represented by a real estate company with standards to match. Coldwell Banker Global Luxury. Live well with Coldwell.
This March, Lake Chelan welcomes food and wine lovers to an unforgettable experience. Taste Chelan. Chelan Valley's top wineries and restaurants create the perfect pairing of fine wines and culinary delights. With 4 weekends to explore, every visit offers something fresh and exciting. From your first sip to the last bite, every moment is a delicious adventure. But don't wait, tickets are selling fast. Visit tastechelan.com today.
Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. Ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, your place for fun, food, and friends. Happy hour every day, 2 to 7. Try their brand new menu and famous prime rib every Saturday night. Planning a celebration? Book your holiday party, wedding, or private event, even in their exclusive simulator rooms. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, where every day is a celebration. Visit today.
16 minutes after the hour of sports, Graham Eke, 19 points. Third seeded Gonzaga held off a rather pesky Kennesaw State team, a number 14 seed. But they won, and that's the key. 73-64 was the final in Portland last night. Davis Fogel, 17 points for the Bulldogs, who will now face number 11 seed Texas tomorrow. In the West region, the Longhorns advanced by upsetting BYU 79-71. Gonzaga in Texas, they'll tip off tomorrow afternoon, 4:10 on TBS. The winner moves on to the Sweet 16. So the men started yesterday, the women start today. Who's playing who and when? The Huskies of Washington, the Lady Huskies, are number 6 seed. They'll take on the 11th seed of South Dakota State in Fort Worth, Texas. That'll be this morning at 10:30 on ESPN News. I can't watch it because I don't have it. And as far as the Lady Bulldogs of Gonzaga, they'll take on Ole Miss, a number 5 seed. That'll be in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis specifically. That'll be this afternoon at 12:30 on ESPN. Seattle Kraken's hopes for making the Stanley Cup playoffs took a hit last night. They're both fighting the Predators and the Kraken for that final wild card slot. It didn't work. They dropped a 3-1 decision to the Predators. Now with the win, Nashville pulls even with Seattle. They both have 71 points, which is just outside the Stanley Cup playoffs.
To the corner now, Matthew Wood, Jost, he'll dust it off, up top, up go, this way, Shea denied by DeCord, Brady Shea gets it back, reset by Forsberg, one-timer, up go, they score, Adam Upko, maybe a tip out in front, Upko scored his first NHL goal in Seattle just 9 days ago, he has another one, Evans got to stick to it. Forsberg, Evans do battle, now Chandler Stevenson. Soccer styles along for Freddie Gaudreau. Freddie G at the line, a handoff for Kakko. Stevenson out in front, they score! That's hockey, baby! What a setup! Chandler Stevenson, Freddie Gaudreau out in front. The former Nashville Predator, where it all started, has tied the game.
Chandler Stevenson, he gets the puck from Kakko. Good defense, good strength along the boards. Kakko to Stevenson. Everybody in the building thinks he's going to shoot it, JT. And there goes Freddie G right to the blue paint. He's got himself a wide open net. What a play. You mentioned JT and make the play.
Power play ensues. Oleksiak for interference. Stamkos will set up. Draw it back. Wrist one through traffic. They score! Batted home. It ricochets around. Ryan O'Reilly was staked out. Out. Through center. Good anticipation by Forsberg. He hits it.
That was the first game of a 6-game road trip. Game 2 is tomorrow afternoon in Columbus against the Blue Jackets. That'll be at 2 o'clock on Kong TV. Cal Raleigh struck out 4 times, but he had the biggest hit of the game for the Mariners. He smoked a ginormous ginormous double. Wait till you see this. The Mariners won, by the way. They beat the A's 6-4. He cleared the bases with a 438-foot double in the 6th inning to give the Mariners the lead for good.
The 2-1. Swinging a high, towering fly ball, center field, and this bangs off the infinity batter's eye in center. It stays in the yard. It clears the bases off. It's a 3-run double off that towering batter's eye in straightaway center. And the Mariners are now doubling up the Athletics at 6-3.
Pretty impressive double. Mariners have a split squad game today. They got split squad this afternoon with the Brewers, then tonight against the Guardians. To the pitch we go. Prep Soccer scoreboard at Leave Off the Field at the Apple Bowl. Eastmont knocked off Cascade. The final there was 2-1. Cashmere snuck by Royal 2-1 in league play. Quincy shut out Brewster 3-0. It was Moses Lake over Freda in that rivalry. 2-0. Othello got by Chelan 3-1 on the pitch. Okanagan shut out Manson 3-0. Tenasket rolled over Colville, and Liberty Bell shut out Bridgeport 2-0. That's what happened. Here's what's happening. Your prep soccer schedule. We're going to a whole bunch of it. It starts at 11 a.m. with Manson and Brewster. At noon, Ephrata welcomes East Valley. Colville has Okanagan coming to their pitch at noon. We'll have the 1 o'clock game. The Chiawana Riverhawks in town to take on Eastmont. We will be there. Televised right here on the NCW Life channel. That's at 1 o'clock. Also 1 o'clock, Wenatchee will host Meade. I like the Panthers in that one. Cashmere will be at Wahluke at 1 o'clock. It's Bridgeport hosting Omak. Cascade welcomes Toppenish to town. Tenasket will be at Newport. Just a couple of prep baseball games to pass along. Okanagan beat Manson 9-5 yesterday on the Diamond. Brewster 10-run Lake Roosevelt. The final there was 12-2. Pretty light schedule today on the Diamonds. Tenasket will be at Kettle Falls for a doubleheader. That's a long bus drive. Might as well play two. That's at 2 o'clock tonight. Cashmere will be at Quincy at 4 o'clock. Waterville Mansfield at Cascade at 4:30 in prep baseball. Pretty light schedule tomorrow, too. Chelan and Okanagan will play a doubleheader. First pitch, first game, 11 a.m. Same deal with Manson. They welcome Lake Roosevelt for a doubleheader. First pitch, first game at 11 a.m. Just a single game between Cheney and Wenatchee. They were supposed to play last Saturday. They got snowed out. They'll play it again tomorrow. Eastmont will be at Bothell, which tastes awful, at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Prep softball scoreboard. Wenatchee and Ellensburg split. Wenatchee won the opener 8-1. Ellensburg outscored them by just a single run to win 11-10 in the nightcap. Omak swept Tenasket with one blowout, 16-5, and one nail-biter, 3-2. And Waterville Mansfield outscored Bridgeport by 20 runs, 23-3 on the prep softball diamond. Scheduled today, Quincy at Chelan at 4 o'clock, Lake Roosevelt at Brewster 4 o'clock. 1 hour later, Kennewick welcomes the Moses Lake Mavericks to town. A lot of softball in Ephrata. It's called the Sagebrush Showdown. They got 6 teams. It's round robin affair. Eastmont gets going at 10 a.m. tomorrow. They'll take on Mark Morris, and then at 2 in the afternoon they'll take on Ording. Sandwiched in between Eisenhower against Ephrata, and Colville will take on Ephrata at 2 o'clock. Lots of softball in Ephrata and other softball games. Doubleheaders across the board. Lake Roosevelt at Manson at 11 a.m. Liberty Bell at Bridgeport at 11 a.m. 12 noon. First pitch, first game for Clealum and Cascade. Omak welcomes Jenkins out at Chewelah. Kittitas welcomes Okanagan at 12 noon. And East Valley will take on Wenatchee at their new ballpark in a doubleheader starting at 1 o'clock. No lack of high school sporting events to see this weekend if you were so inclined. And unlike last weekend, Mother Nature will cooperate. A lot of people watch this show online because we stream, as you well know, where you can watch us if you have access to the internet. It doesn't matter where you are. You can watch this show or any of our programming. So for you folks in Tunisia, happy Independence Day. For you folks in Tunisia, I want to welcome you on board. It's French Language Day. It's National Proposal Day. Most proposals usually take place around the holidays, I thought. International Day of Happiness. It's World Storytelling Day. But today we're going to scarf down one of my favorite Italian foods. Today is National Ravioli Day, always held on March 20th via an act of Congress. I made that up. It could be a main dish. It could be a side dish. You can bake it. You can fry it. It's easy to make, especially those big packages, pre-made cheese or beef ravioli. I don't know, anybody doesn't like ravioli. Ravioli is the best kind, or the traditional, you make it at home, and it's not that hard to make either. But what goes inside the ravioli is a regional thing. In Rome, the filling in the ravioli is ricotta cheese, spinach, nutmeg, and black pepper. In other countries, ravioli is filled with ricotta cheese and grated lemon rind. Toasted ravioli, which is fantastic, dates to an Italian neighborhood in St. Louis known as The Hill, which is where Yogi Berra and Joe Garagiola grew up. The first canned ravioli, the Italians, who handed it out to their troops during World War I. Canned ravioli became big in this country during the Great Depression, courtesy of Chef Chef Boer, the guy with the hat and the, you know who I'm talking about. But fresh ravioli is the only way to go, if you can find it. Today in history, oh, Nertz, that short guy is back, said the rest of Europe on March 20th, 1815. 211 years ago today, of course, he escaped from Elba the week prior. Napoleon gets to France with a regular army of 140,000 and a volunteer force of around 200,000, and the rest of Europe went crap. But they knew he was on his way. This is a hard secret to keep. And so the Congress of Vienna got together a couple of days later after Napoleon landed in France. It was Austria, Prussia, Russia, and Great Britain. They all got together and said, okay, well, we got to do something. And so they bounded together and said, let's put together an army of our own to keep Napoleon at bay. Everybody pledged 150,000 men per country. So you do the math, it comes out to 700,000 men. Napoleon had 350,000 men, and he may have been a military genius, but when you're outnumbered 2-1, you ain't going to win. We will talk about Waterloo in the not-too-distant future. Do you recognize this? Take a look at it. 111 years ago today, March 20th, 1915, Albert Einstein publishes his general theory of relativity. But was he wrong? Don't know. Not that smart. 65 years ago today, they already announced that the National League was going to expand, go back to New York. Dodgers left town, Giants left town. The Yankees were the only game in town in Manhattan and in New York City, and the Mets were coming back. But they need a place to play, and the Mets said, we'll play at Yankee Stadium. And on this date in 1961, the Yankees said, no, you're not. The Yankees announced formally that they would oppose any plan that would enable the new National League team, the expansion team, to play in their stadium. Ironically enough, the Yankees didn't own Yankee Stadium. It was privately owned, but still they said no, which means that the Mets had to play their first 2 years in the Polo Grounds, which was a dump by 1962. Anyway, Yankees said no. That probably started the rivalry right there. The beginning of the end for Pete Rose on this date in 1989. The rumors have been floating around really for years. People knew. It was no secret in baseball. Nobody was talking out of turn that Pete loved to gamble. He loved to go to the horse track, which is basically right across the river from his home in Cincinnati. But rumors began to spread, and they couldn't seem to shake him. And finally, on this date, Commissioner Peter Ueberroth said he was formally beginning an investigation into Pete Rose's activities. He wouldn't say why, but everybody knew it was gambling. He had called Pete to his office a month earlier to sit down to hash it out. And on this date, he couldn't keep the rumors at bay any longer. Peter Ueberroth said, we're looking into what Pete's been doing. We all know what he did. And 23 years ago today, here we go. Of course, Hans Blix, the UN inspector, went to Iraq to look for weapons of mass destruction, didn't find any, went back and reported to the President of the United States, George W. Bush, that Saddam Hussein does not have any weapons of mass destruction, and George said, well, we're going to go in anyway. We invaded Iraq on this date in 2003. 130,000 Americans, 45,000 British troops, 2,000 Australian troops, and we can't forget the Polish. They sent 194 troops to help out the cause. They never did, by the way, find weapons of mass destruction, but you know, here we go. It was on this date in 2003. It's the bottom of the hour. Birthdays. He would have been 98 years old today. Fred McFeely Rogers. That was his middle name. You know, remember Mr. McFeely? Well, that's where he got that from. Fred Rogers, born this date in 1928. He was red-green colorblind. He swam every morning. He didn't, not surprisingly, being Mr. Rogers. He didn't smoke, he didn't drink. He was a vegetarian, but not on healthy grounds, on ethical grounds. He said, I'm not going to eat anything that had a mother at one time or another. The show was taped at WQED in Pittsburgh, and his office at WQED in Pittsburgh was famous because it didn't have a desk. He had sofas and chairs and coffee tables. He said desks are a barrier. They don't work. And Fred Rogers, and my favorite line from Fred Rogers, kids can spot a phony a mile away, so you might as well just be honest with them. You know, watching, even as an adult, and I'm 61, watching Mr. Rogers nowadays, it's on Saturdays and Sunday mornings, still lessons to be learned there. Our platinum sponsor is Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsor. We took our cameras to lead off the field at the Apple Bowl, home of the Wenatchee Panther girls soccer team yesterday, to have a fantastic conversation with one of the great coaching legends in this valley's history, Dennis Tronson, who coached the Cashmere girls team to great success for 29 seasons, and the Wenatchee boys soccer team to great success for 25 seasons. He's now done coaching, kind of. My conversation with Dennis, it's a two-part conversation. The second part will air on Monday. The first part will air when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Between juggling groceries, preparing meals, and lending a helping hand, you're a hero without a cape. But who's there to support you? Aging and Adult Care honors caregivers like you, the relatives, friends, and neighbors, helping loved ones remain safely at home. Aging and Adult Care offers chore services, respite, personal care, and more. Serving Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, Adams, and Okanagan counties, call Aging and Adult Care at 1-800-572-4459 for caregiver support.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCW Life channel.
Whether you're a new homeowner or looking to update, Save Mart in Wenatchee has everything you need. From top-of-the-line appliances to comfy mattresses and stunning furniture that fits your style, they have it all under one roof. With great deals and expert customer service, you'll find the perfect pieces for your space and your budget. Save Mart, your local destination for quality appliances, mattresses, and furniture at prices you'll love.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I believe there are a number of private and charter schools in our area. Actually, one of my grandkids goes to one. And I remember when this particular school and the others started, they did so without justifying the creation of their school by spreading false information and outright lies about the public school system and our current school board. I mean, why should they? People, you can start at school if you want to. Yeah, nobody's stopping you. So why should any local organization have to resort to mudslinging and the outright spreading of lies and disinformation to justify their doing so? Well, you know, this is why. It's a common fascist tactic. Yeah, that's the word, fascist. If you want like-minded people to support your project financially, you create a mutual enemy. Yep. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Fibercrete fireproof safety rooms can be the difference between life and death for you and your family. Typical fireproof safety rooms are 8x8 Fibercrete panels providing a solid sanctuary. Fibercrete safety rooms can be above ground, buried underground, or built within new home construction. Best of all, a safety room by Fibercrete is very affordable. Call 360-770-2088. You owe it to your family to find out more about Fibercrete safety rooms.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Mow, dig, haul, trench. The reliable Kubota BX Series subcompact tractor is highly capable. A smooth hydrostatic transmission makes for easy operation and versatile attachments that help you handle the job. The Kubota BX Series is the #1 selling subcompact tractor in the U.S. Talk to your Kubota dealer to schedule a demo.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCW Life. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Life channel.
Welcome back to the program. Dennis Tronson coached soccer in this valley for so long. I'll put this in perspective. When he first started coaching high school soccer here, girls in Cashmere and Wenatchee boys, Elvis was still dead. I mean, that's how long it's been since Dennis took the helm of the Cashmere Lady Bulldogs, highly successful. And of course, the Wenatchee Panthers were here at the Apple Bowl. You are now officially Coach Dennis Tronson, no longer Coach Dennis Tronson in the traditional sense. You retired from teaching a few years ago, still kept coaching. You coached the Wenatchee boys right up until just a couple of years ago. You just stepped aside after decades in Cashmere coaching the Lady Bulldogs. You're now officially retired. Congratulations.
Well,
I knew this was coming.
I was asked by the athletic director in Cashmere if I could help out with middle school boys. They had a opening, so I did that last year with the 8th graders, and I said I'd do it again this year, but this would be it. So next week I start my final season coaching boys. Kind of interesting since I started here at Wenatchee in 1992 with the boys. I'm going to finish with the boys, so, but a great run with the girls also.
The only thing I knew about Dennis Tronson from about 10, 11 years ago is that my sister was a big fan of Dennis. Outside of that, I didn't really know you a great deal. I have come to respect your coaching acumen, and I have a quick little Dennis Tronson story. I observed your practice one time at Wenatchee High School here at the Apple Bowl. This was just a couple of years ago. And I noticed as you were running practices with the drills and the team and everything, very disciplined, very straightforward. You were coaching them. You were coaching them up during practice. And then the game came a couple of days later, and you were kind of just letting them play. I was expecting Dennis to run up and down and call for me, but you didn't. You sat there and you wore your hat and you were almost like a spectator. And that's what I've noticed about you over the years. All the times I've watched you practice, the difference between Dennis Tronson, the practice coach, and Dennis Tronson, the game coach. Is that accurate? You have a tendency to just once the game starts, let the match happen.
It's real interesting in that I've come to the philosophy of meeting a lot of mentors I've had and talking to a lot of coaches nationally. just about coaching. What's the best way to approach this philosophy? And soccer's a unique game in that we don't have timeouts. We can't stop play, unless there's an injury. So basically, it is the player's game on game day. They do the warm-ups. The game starts. Once the whistle blows, I say to the players, the only thing I can do is call for subs and yell at the refs. That's pretty much what I can do. And then I get 10 minutes at halftime to coach them up, make some adjustments, and come out, and hopefully I've guessed right that game.
You kind of fell backwards into a soccer coaching job. Wasn't something you were considering for a career. You were doing other things, and then one day you ended up coaching the soccer team and figured out this is kind of cool.
Yeah, it goes back 40 years. I was at Eastern Washington University, and I got to know the men's coach, soccer coach, which they just started, which they no longer have, and he and I got a friendship up, and he got me introduced to the world's game. And then I was taking a American football coaching with Dick Zorns, and I wrote an article about concussions, and he says his comment on it was, if this continues, we'll all be coaching soccer. And that was in 1981, and little did I know that my daughter would be born in 82, and at the age of 6, she starts playing soccer. So I'd taken a couple soccer coaching classes, so I just fell into it, coaching my own kids. And then it morphed into going from that to being a club director, club president, coaching at the collegiate level, starting the program at Wenatchee Valley College. And then and at the same time, I started coaching here a few years before that. And then in 1997, had a long discussion with former AD Sandy Cooprider about, what I should do. Am I going to continue to coach the collegiate level? And he said, you might want to think about that. And I asked him why, and he said the greatest experience I had as a coach was coaching my own son in his sport as an assistant. So I took that to heart, stepped aside from the college, and things happened in Kashmir where the coach decided to leave as I was going to volunteer, and I was offered the position, and I was there for 29 years.
Was there any time in your early coaching years, coaching soccer specifically, that you had like an epiphany, like, I'm pretty good at this? Was it just the wins started, more wins than losses?
It was like every year, and if you talk to my wife, she thought it was every day, that I was thinking, oh, well, you're always thinking ahead. Next year, I'll have this player in this position. It just became contagious. It was more like an addiction. I had to have more of it. And like I said, I've traveled all over the United States following my daughters play soccer, but I've also talked to coaches from all over the world about it, going to national conventions and just immersing myself in it. I was just kind of unique. I retired from coaching, and I just gave up my season tickets. I was an inaugural season ticket holder for the Sounders. They're kind of my club in the U.S. And I do have a club worldwide. My wife and I are planning a trip to Europe to go see my club, which is Liverpool.
Oh, cool.
Not everybody loves Liverpool, but I do.
They've been struggling a little bit this year.
Yeah, I'm not real happy with the new manager. I wish the old one would come back, but that's me. But I guess it was more of, I understood that soccer, more than any other sport, is a player's game. It's just self-determined by the players. There's not a lot you can do. You can make a few substitutes to try to change things, but it's the players making decisions and they control it. But in the training, that's where everything is controlled by the coach. You set up the scenarios, trying to create the right situation for the kids to learn and grow from it.
When you're coaching, we're coaching, I should say, how did you know you were making an impact? Was it, okay, hey, we just beat our rivals 3-1, or how do you know that what you're trying to teach the kids to be better soccer players and better people, that you're actually getting the job done?
It's never really about the results in soccer. I've had matches in the state tournament where we outshoot an opponent 35-1 and lose.
Yeah.
Because their one went in and we couldn't find the back of the net. Then I've had other other matches where we have been on the other side of that, where we're totally dominate and win. So getting the result, I think, is more like, what is the result for me as a coach, is where they take something from the training field and you see it happen in the match. And you go, yeah, that's what we're after. And my goal was, I always want the perfect match, which means every pass is perfect, every shot goes in, and I go, doesn't happen in soccer. It's an imperfect game. It's all about how can we reduce the failures and have more success.
The success at Cashmere is remarkable. 22 league championships, 15 district titles. You went to state 20 times. You made it to the Final Four 6 times. Never quite took home the big trophy with Cashmere, but you knocked on the door a bunch of times. Even though you didn't win the state championship, you got second and third on a number of occasions. It's still a remarkable record.
Well, thanks. It was always a goal when out there. That was always the program's goal. When you ask the girls that just played to the girls that played the first year, what was our goal? And it was to win a state title. But we also knew, yes, we wanted to win the league titles and the district titles. You know, those league victories titles were over 3 different leagues. Same thing with district, over 3 different leagues and 2 different classifications. And I think that the highlight for me, you know, in the girls program, everybody goes, was it the games? Never. It was the relationships. And, you know, there was one year I was invited to 13 different weddings in a summer. It started in May and ended in October. I had invitations, and that's
a lot of toasters to buy.
Yeah.
Or your wife, anyway.
Yeah. But even at that, it was going to graduations, traveling all over the United States to see former players play. I made a trip to South Dakota to watch 2 players who did not know I was coming. I show up. They both start. See one score first collegiate goal, which was just unbelievable as a coach. And, you know, to see them develop as young women out there was fantastic. And the same thing with the young men I just coached last week in the alumni game. All the things that they're going, it was really unique. I was coaching, I had a father playing for me, he's playing against his son. I've coached sons. The last couple of years, I've had former players who played on my first team. In fact, one of them, I coached both daughters. The mom had actually played for me when she was 8 years old on a club team. So, you know, it was just coming full circle.
It's this town, this valley specifically, Cashmere, Wenatchee, Eastmont's had some outstanding both boys and girls soccer teams in the last 10, 12 years. What's going on here? It's become, the Wenatchee Valley has become a soccer town.
Yes, we have.
And it's not just winning, they come. They come and they watch.
Yeah, it's huge crowds. That was a unique thing in Cashmere. There were times when, until the last few years in Wenatchee, we were outdrawing Wenatchee and Eastmont, except for that Eastmont-Wenatchee game would be the only game. But we in our daily games and the amount of people traveling. Just this last year, we were playing Cascade in the district tournament, and there were 500 or 600 people there for an afternoon game. And so we've seen the growth of it, and a lot is attributed to they're seeing there's value for their girls and value for their boys, and they just want to be part of that, and I think that's exciting.
I want to take you back to 2016. It was we were covering a game here. It was towards the end of the season. You were playing Eisenhower, a mediocre Eisenhower team. At that, it was mid-April. We lost at home to Ike, and that dropped us to like 4-5 on the year or something like that. And we're breaking down the television gear, and I thought, this is a talented soccer team. Is it the new field turf? I couldn't put my finger on it. But something happened, because after that Eisenhower lost, you never lost a game for the rest of the year, and you took home the state championship. A remarkable achievement for a team that looked like it was just wallowing around in its own. And then they just, what happened? What happened to that team that you just went on a tear and nobody could get near you after that Eisenhower loss?
Well, it's a lot like soccer. It's not what happened, it's what didn't happen to us, because everything happened. We went from looking like we are going to be a sub 500 team. And we got into the locker room and I said, here's the deal, guys. This is what you have to do. And we were at that point in the season. We want to make the state tournament, like you said, because we went to the state the previous year. We have to win every game. I just challenged them with that. But then things started happening and adversity came in and we had a motto, and then by the end of that season the motto had changed from, I can't even remember what it is, to adversity. And that is imprinted on the state championship rings those players wear and I wear, and became our mantra, because we went from losing all these close games to now winning every close game. And then we get in the playoffs and the bus breaks down on the interstate. We don't start our match at Kentwood till 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and win in an overtime game. Our best player, now the current coach at Wenatchee High School, gets a straight red card, is ejected at that time for 3 matches.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's not even playing in that game. He's not going to play unless we get to the semis. We do. The next week we go to Spokane and play in the quarters. Match gets called because of lightning. We sit on the bus for 2.5 hours, go out, dominate a very good Lewis and Clark team who is expected to challenge for the state title. Then we go to the state tournament. We end up playing Central Valley, who is our nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
Our starting forward, 5 minutes before the game goes, gets his leg broken, has to go to the hospital. So now we're going to the state title, replacing our leading scorer with a freshman who also is now coaching at Wenatchee High School. And we win the game with the current coach getting a header in the first half and being selected player of the year. How does that happen? I remember sitting in the stands with that team prior to the game. I was watching a 3A game, and these parents are looking through the program and they go, Wenatchee, they got 7 losses. What do they do? They don't deserve to be here. And I just took that and told the boys, there's people saying you don't deserve this. You've lost 7 times. What are you going to do? You know, at that point we were 11-7. We end up 13-7 with the state title. So
the last 5 minutes of that state championship match against, it was at Tahoma, I believe it was.
Tahoma.
What was going through your mind after knocking on the door so many times with the Kashmir girls and the Wenatchee boys, and you're 5 minutes away from taking home the trophy? What was going through Dennis Tronson's mind?
It felt like time stood still. It was like, could the clock go any slower? And then when we got into injury time, it was like, I just looked at my watch. Well, 2 seconds went by. It was, it was a very surreal time to be in, and it was no different than when I had the girls in the state finals and we go into overtime and soccer beats you because the ball, instead of hitting a defender's foot, bounces over and a player runs onto it and drills it home. And you think, we led this game for 75 minutes and they score on a ball that skips underneath our goalkeeper's arm. How does that happen? She hasn't missed a ball a year. And it's just those things happen. There were big wins, they happen, big losses. It was no different than this year with the girls. We're on the road, we know it's tough. We're playing a team that goes to state just like us in Montesano, and they get one bounce and they get one opportunity, and we cannot find the equalizer. And really, the whole thing with the girls team this year was, I really felt we were the only team that could beat Cedar Park Christian and could match up with them and create a really tight championship game. But it didn't happen because that's the way the game's played.
A remarkable attitude from a guy who's had a lot of heartbreak, but a lot of victories. We're going to make this a 2-part conversation with Coach Dennis Tronson. So on tomorrow's edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, we'll talk about some of the great players that he's had, and we'll talk a little bit about field turf, how that has changed the game over the last 10 years. That'll be on tomorrow's edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Apple Valley Honda is bringing the future of driving to you. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue EV. Say goodbye to gas stations and hello to a whisper-quiet ride and zero emissions. The wait is over. Finally, a local option for a quality EV from a brand with a track record of exceptional quality and reliability. Experience the Honda Prologue EV for yourself at family-owned Apple Valley Honda. Stay close to home and visit us at Apple Valley Honda today for the life you live.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
You trust the same doctor for your health and the same dentist for your smile. Trust Global Car Care to keep your vehicle running strong. We track your car's history so it gets the right care at the right time. With our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on parts and labor, you'll drive away with confidence. Global Car Care, your automotive experts. We service all makes and models, but specialize in Sprinter vans, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW. Call or visit us today.
Happy spring, television family. We are 10 minutes into spring 2026. The vernal equinox happened at 7:46 this morning. Bring it on. I mentioned at the close of the interview I did with Coach Dennis Tronson, which is just, I had such a great time with Dennis yesterday. I mentioned that part 2 will be tomorrow. We're not here on Saturday. The part 2 will air on Monday. That's just the kind of week it's been. I've lost track of what day of the week it was. Yesterday. In any event, part 2 with Dennis will be on Monday. You don't want to miss that. We have a little bit of time. Cameras, here we go. Wenatchee Heights camera. Looks like a little bit of rain up Birch Mountain way. That's what I'm seeing anyway. Pretty low clouds. I understand there is some light sprinkles in some of our viewing areas. Also a little bit of light rain reported up in the Omak-Okanagan area. Well, there's Billy Goat. Now, there you go. Looks like Bridgeport. Might be getting a little bit of light rain up near the Gamble Sands Golf Complex. That's about where that's located. You can see the light rain coming down there. That's from the Billy Goat camera. My personal favorite because you can just see so much real estate. Really phenomenal there. Stein Hill. Go out and hit a quick 9 at the Mount Cashmere Golf Course. They're friendly people out there. I like it. There's the fairgrounds. Everybody else, good morning to Cashmere. It's good to see you on this Friday morning. And finally, we wrap things up with Nanapoc Ridge, which is not that far from Cashmere, but it looks like it's an entirely another country. It is raining up at Lake Wenatchee. They're going to continue to see some snow melt up there. It kind of looks ominous, but it's kind of pretty too as well. Clouds a little lower and a little more moisture laden up in that area. And we could see some rain today. We have about a 60% chance of rain up until about 2 o'clock or so this afternoon. After 2, the rain should be tapering off. The clouds aren't going to go anywhere. It's going to be cloudy. 63 for the afternoon high. If you're just joining us, we almost set a record high on Wednesday. We missed it by just 1 degree. Yesterday, we hit 71, which was just 1 degree off the record of 72. Our overnight low was 50. I mean, just strange stuff. Cloudy tonight, 41 for the overnight low, and then here comes some unsettled and certainly cooler weather. That's going to move in tonight. This is with the cold air is going to start seeping down while you're sleeping. Tomorrow morning, it'll be cloudy. Tomorrow afternoon, it'll be sunny, but it's going to be a lot cooler, high of only 52 degrees. Also a little breezy at times on Saturday and Saturday night. We're finally going to get down to where we should be for the overnight lows and the afternoon highs. Lots of sunshine on Sunday and a high of 54, 34 for the overnight low to wrap up your weekend. We go back to work on Monday, and we'll get up to about 56 degrees and a partly sunny skies. Next chance of measurable rain is going to be Tuesday with a high of 55, and there could be some light snow in the mountains, but probably not in the passes. I don't think the snow level is going to get down to about 4,000 feet on Tuesday, but we're in for some wet stuff. All in all, not a bad weekend. And that is it for us. Have a great first weekend of spring. We will see you Monday. Until then, bye-bye.